This time we're going to talk about sharpening a knife. And a knife should be sharp enough to cut paper like that by just holding the paper on one edge. And to get that knife sharp, it's got to be ground up this way and ground up that way. And that edge should be about 40 degrees. And when you learn how to use a compass, you'll find out in a circle there's 360 degrees. And if you cut that circle in half, half of 360 is 180. And then if you cut it in half again this way, from here to here, that's 90 degrees. Half of 180. And then if you cut that in half again, that's 45 degrees, that right there. Now a knife blade, we want about 40 degrees. So 40 degrees is going to be about like that. So this line here and this line here, when they come together at 40 degrees, that makes a pretty good point. But now to do that, you got to sharpen this side and this side. And so you got to cut this in half again, and that makes about 20 degrees here and 20 degrees here. So when you're sharpening your knife, this is the stone. There's a rough side and a smooth side. So as you drag the knife across the stone, you don't want to have it up here at 90 degrees, that would just make it dull. And even at 45 degrees, that's too high. You want to have it at about 20 degrees, about like that. And so you're going to take, I'm going to do it on this one here. On this rough side, you're going to take that knife at about 20 degrees and just drag it across. This and go like that, and you'll feel it get a little bit sharper. And you'll turn it over on the smoother side and do the same thing. And as it starts to get sharp, that edge will get so thin, like this mark right here. That's kind of looking at the blade like that. Your blade will curl over on the end. It'll just have a little tiny curl. So one side will feel smooth and the other side will feel just a little bit rough, and that's that little tiny curl. And to get that curl off, then you need a steel. Now this here is a diamond steel. It's a little fine diamond dust glued on here. And you'll feel one side is a little rougher than the other. Now when you sharpen, it's alright to bring one blade back towards you, but you want to keep your fingers behind this guard. The other way, if you practice, you can do the bottom like that and the top like that, and that'll get rid of that. And then if you want to get finer yet, you use a plain steel. And it's just steel on steel. And you'll see some guys do it real fast, but the speed doesn't really help them. You can just take it slow. And then you can feel the blade like this here, but it's better to test it on a piece of paper. That way you're not going to cut your thumb. And then some stones are real small, so you can carry in your pocket. And this is if you're going to maybe sharpen a little tiny blade, like a whittling blade. You can lay this down like this, and sharpen it like that. Now here's a smaller pocket stone that it's a little bit like a steel and it's a little bit like a stone, and it's got diamonds on it. And you can use that to sharpen your knife. Now another kind is this here, and it's got 2 pieces of hard sharp carbide steel and 2 pieces of ceramic or glass. And this is already, I don't know if you can see in there, it's got the 40-degree angle. And so you put your knife in there and just drag it, keep your knife straight and just drag it through. And then after it starts dragging through, you can kind of feel it pulling real even. And then you go over to the glass one. And that'll sharpen it right up. And I got my little stick here. And again, if your knife is sharp, you can just cut away with it. So that is how you sharpen a knife. Oh, one more part here. There's also serrated edges. And the serrated edges, again, it's very good for cutting rope. And it's a blade that stays fairly sharp for a long time. And what happens if I would rub this flat on the stone, it would just make the tips dull, but the inside parts would still be sharp. And to sharpen them, you need a pointed diamond stone. And with this pointed diamond stone, you can run that up each side. And it's just 2 different kinds. Like that. And then this particular one you sharpen both sides, but on some of them it's flat on this side. And so you can just take a stone and just slide it along this side here to flatten that out. And that is how you sharpen a serrated blade.